Well, welcome back to the Lake Effect Show. My name is Jason Harnett on Hunters Bay Radio, 88.7 FM. Thanks for joining us. And we're happy to have our very first guest here at the Sawdust City Studios. No stranger to Sawdust City. I think she likes this place. And on St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up tomorrow, I'm very curious to hear from the Chief Librarian what she'll be doing on St. Patrick's Day and if she possibly has a favorite beverage. Julia Reinhart, the Chief Librarian, CAO of the Gravenhurst Public Library, is here. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. Great to be here at Sawdust City and at Hunters Bay Radio as your first guest. That's pretty exciting. And yes, I do have a favorite beverage, which is the Kolsch. And as Jason mentioned, we do tend to come here periodically. And in answer to your question about St. Patrick's Day, we'll be here at Sawdust, I'm sure, that evening to celebrate with some friends. So,
yeah, it's fantastic that it falls on a Friday. We're in a brewery right now, so I'm excited about the day, and everyone will be decked out in their best green. It is also March break, and there are lots of things going on in the community, especially at the Gravenhurst Public Library. And I know that you've had a few events already. Can you tell us what else is in store for the kids leading into the weekend?
Okay, well, yes, we have had a lot of activity at the library this week. Coming up on Thursday, we have an art workshop, Minecraft, and Lego taking place. We have a couple. The first two sessions are actually full. We have registration for all of those, and they're full. But we do have some spaces left for Lego, so please keep that in mind if you're looking for something for your kids or your grandkids to do. That would be great.
What tends to be the most popular event that you feature during the March break? What do the kids enjoy the most?
Well, certainly the art workshops fill up very quickly when we're registering the kids. We've lots of kids who are interested in doing crafts over the holidays. The other thing that I think is really popular is the performance that takes place at the Opera House that we sponsor, and that's this week, actually today, is Jam Sandwich, and that's been really popular. We usually get a full house for those. And we also have some activities like Mad Scientists that's taking place on Friday, which is a popular workshop. We have a card-making workshop on Friday as well at 2:30. Spaces are still available in that as well. So,
now, what do you remember from March break when you were young, way back when? Did you go away? Did you take part in programs similar to this? Were you a librarian type that would actually stay home and study and do catch up with your homework, possibly?
Well, I remember it being a lot warmer in previous March breaks. We didn't tend to go away too much, but we'd go to the library and actually go to programs, so I guess that's where I got my start. I remember going on short trips with my family, that kind of thing. Yeah, March break was always a good time to kind of catch up and read and relax.
And not only this week, but the Gravenhurst Public Library always has something going on. And looking ahead, I know that you are thinking of the spring season, which is hard to do because it's been so cold. But there have been a couple of spring and gardening sessions already. And I know that you have a couple more upcoming sessions. Tell us about those.
Okay, so next week on the 21st of March, we've got our seed swap and gardening book weeding, and people are invited to come in and check out the seeds that are there and the gardening books that we've actually removed from our shelves. And then the week after, on the 28th, we have Sandy Carnes. She's going to be in at 6:30 to talk about Communities in Bloom program. So those are the kinds of spring activities we are doing around gardening. In April, we've got a few activities as well that I wanted to highlight too. The Travel the World series, which is a really popular series, takes place on Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. We have on April 4th, Burkina Faso with Carla Veach. April 11th, Scandinavia with Janet Merkley. April 18th, we've got Ireland with Wilma and Brian Bailey. And on April the 25th, Mike Hindle's going to be talking about his trip to Alaska.
I think this time of year, everybody's thinking of going somewhere warm. It has been a really cold March. It's been a long winter. What about you? Do you have a favorite spot that you would like to visit or you already have visited?
Well, I have to admit, I really would love to go to Italy, and that's something I'm thinking about for the future. But I'm actually off to Antigua next week, which is pretty exciting for me.
Nice.
I've never been to a southern clime before, never done that kind of holiday, so really looking forward to doing that.
And how might other people get involved with telling others about their adventures or their trips to some of these exotic places? Is there room on board for people to come to the library and present some of their vacation information and stories?
That's a great question, Jason, actually. Thank you so much for asking it, because we do encourage people who have traveled, who, have taken lots of photos and they enjoy talking about their travels with their friends, to come in. It's a very low-key event usually, and it's a lot of fun, and we get a good audience who are also they're really interested in doing the armchair traveling and hearing more about various places that people have been. Please feel free to give us a call at the library if you are interested in doing that kind of travel talk. Those usually take place in April and in October.
Now, this is something I was talking about on my first half, and that has to do with taxes. Something we kind of dread this time of year. It's something that we all have to do, unfortunately. Tax season is here, and it can get pretty confusing. All of these different forms and all of these different deductions, all sorts of things that you need to know and figure out on your own. But there is some help at the Gravenhurst Public Library. Tell us about this tax clinic or tax clinics you have, and who it's available to, and how it works.
Okay, so we have a group of community volunteers who are very proficient in filing tax returns, who actually provide free sessions, half-hour sessions with people who are, interested, fall within their criteria, and who, prefer to have somebody help them out with those returns. They do them electronically, which is great. Basically, all you have to do is give us a call at the library, find out if you qualify for that session, and we'll get you signed up. We are actually now booking into April. They're pretty popular sessions, and people are encouraged to do that. Give us a call as soon as you can.
You're listening to Lake Effect on 88.7 Hunters Bay Radio. Jason Harnett with you. Our special guest is Julia Reinhart. She is the Chief Librarian at the Gravenhurst Public Library. And I also wanted to ask you about a survey that you're currently doing. And what is the purpose of the survey? How has it been received so far? And what do you hope to do with some of the information that you collect?
So the survey is actually a community needs survey that we're asking people to help us out on. We're really looking for input from the community on what they want to see in their library in the future. We're looking at how this information can help us serve people in Gravenhurst better by maybe changing up some of our programming, looking at different resources, additions to the collection, electronic resources, those kinds of things. We're also looking at the facility and how maybe we can make some alterations to the facility, expansion possibly, but we really want the input from the community on these kinds of things. So that's what we're looking for. The survey is actually available on the library website until March the 31st. And actually, if anybody who's interested in filling it out and participating in a draw, we have that option as well for a Garmin smartwatch, a Bluetooth portable stereo speaker, and a gift card. So those are the items that we can put people's names in for a draw. So please check it out if you can. And the survey only takes about 20 minutes to fill out. And we are really interested in hearing from people who live here, who either, you make use of the library, or even if you don't make use of the library. It's important, I think, for us to get the opinions of non-users as well. Julia,
lots of great information here. Always lots going on at the Gravenhurst Public Library. Do you have anything else you'd like to mention? I know we squeezed in a lot of information here, but is there anything else you'd like to throw in before we end the program today?
Sure, yeah. I actually wouldn't mind just talking about a little bit about our new Tech Time series that's we've got going. We actually had it running for January to March, and now we're starting a new set of Tech Time Talks, workshops, and those are taking place starting April the 7th at noon. Topics include iPad, iPhone, and Android tablet, learning how to use those. Then on April the 21st, we're doing Kobos, talking about Kobos. April the 28th, we're talking generally about the internet and answering any questions people might have. On May 5th, it's internet safety, which is really important. May the 12th, it's Facebook, using Facebook. May 19th is Pinterest. And on May 26th, it's going to be all about camera apps.
Wow, it's hard to keep up. There's so much technology out there. Even for those people that are good with technology, it's always changing. So it's great to keep up with today's latest trends. Excellent. Thank you for all of the information today. Thanks for being our first guest on Lake Effect. We hope to do this show every Thursday at 2 o'clock on Hunters Bay Radio, 88.7. My name is Jason Harnett. You can find me on Twitter at Harnett Show. And we hope to have you back next Thursday from Sawdust City. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. Julia might be here as well, and we'll definitely cheer the celebration of St. Patty tomorrow on March 17th. Take care, and thanks for listening.